Hi and welcome. I'm trying to learn electricity. Today, power stations. While doing ECU Tendon training, the ECU Tendon is here. And if you participate in the training of the ECU Tendon that is on the screen, we're going to do it in the second half of the video. Now to the power stations. Turning a generator produces electricity. It's so broad, formulated that it gives so much room for many jokes. Turning a generator produces electricity. To turn the generators, we connect them to turbines. Okay, so the generators are turning, they are connected to turbines. And we use different energy resources to turn the turbines. So, a generator, if the generator, I think it's oversimplified, but if the generator turns, that produces electricity. And someone has to turn it. Either someone is doing it by hand, or we're using a turbine. And different things are used to turn the turbine. And we don't use humans standing there or someone else turning that thing all the day. We're using wind and water. Flow can turn turbines directly. So wind. If wind is blowing, that can push something, and if it pushes something, that makes it turn. So if there are many things to turn. Or water also, if like a mill. And when the turbine turns, and the turning thing turns then the generator, and in the generator then electricity is generated. But so that's becoming later. But I'm just saying that you just take what is written here. I'm just trying to understand it and trying to talk just what I understand it to understand it better. The heating is done by burning fuels or using other heat sources. Steam is often used, produced by heating water. So wind is used, wind blowing, and water is used, water flowing, and steam is used. And that is produced by heating water. If water is heated, then water condensates. Now, condensation is when, as we all think, when it just condensates. If water boils, then it becomes steam. And steam has also a pressure and is going through it. And to heat with water, that it boils and everything. Okay, that it becomes steam. That is done by heat sources, and this diagram with the truck and that oven and the tower and maybe there's just a generator, I think, and the turbine and what is it even? Transformer changes the voltage. Okay, whatever the thing is, I think it's a mast. Okay, the heating is done by burning fuels or using other heat sources. The diagram shows the parts of a coal-fired power station. In a modern gas-fired power station, the hot exhaust gases from the burners are used to turn the turbines and then to heat water to steam, which turns the turbines. Maybe we're going to look not one thing at the gas explanation, because it just makes the whole text more than even double as complex, and it's not really adding anything. So we're going to focus on the first part. We're going to read the other one also, of course. The diagram shows the parts of a coal-fired power station. Okay, there's coal arrives by train or truck. No, there we're having the coal, the black coal, on top of the truck. And the truck is delivering the coal. And that coal is then put it into the oven. And in that oven, coal is burned in the furnace. What's a furnace? Is that the proper name for an oven? I'm going to call it oven because I don't know what a furnace is. Now the coal is coming here and put into the oven. And the smoke is coming out there. But now the water is heated. No, do I explain something? Water is turned to steam in the boiler. So the thing is a boiler. Is it now a furnace? A boiler? No. Steam turns the turbines. The turbine turns, and the turning turbines again turns the generator that makes electricity. The electricity transformer change voltage is then transformed in voltage transformers and then send it out to the masts into the world. The steam is cooled in cooling towers, and then it comes back into the oven, or into the boiler. Okay, now we get it. So that is more or less a water circulation. Here comes the cold water. Now these things are 50-60 meters high, and there is now that hot steam in, and in that big thing, there the steam is just, and it goes up, and some goes out, but a lot of it just cools down and rains again down. And I think, what I want to explain now, I know some things about these things, And now I know a few things more from this graph, and I'm just putting them together, explaining them. You just take what is in the book. There's nothing to it. I just want to give a little disclaimer. I don't know what I'm talking. I don't have proof of it. It's more or less just my assumptions. Okay, the water is coming here, and when it rains down, because it cools in these 50-60 meters hiding things, it cools down and rains down and is catched again. And then it is brought back into that oven. That oven is burning with a coal. Here's it hot in, and the water slowly heats up again. Then it is brought to here. And now because that water or steam is hot, it presses against these turbines, and they are then turning, and then the generator turns, and if the generator turns, electricity is done, and in the transformer it is changed. Now we're just in part 1, so we don't really know how the generator does it, or the transformer, or what electricity is, or the voltage, or whatever. But the other basic things now, and how the thing turns, it just goes into the turbine and presses against it. It presses against one part, and when it is brought to the side, and if you now could go on with a human arm, the thing would turn. It turns the turbine. Okay, we've proved it. Now, they're saying there's a little tip, we have to know what a furnace is. They're advising us to know what a furnace is. I just don't know what a furnace is. And I don't get it from the graph. I don't know what a furnace is. I assume a furnace is the same as an oven. And the boiler is now that the water comes through it in these pipes. Okay, I think we have understood what is presented here to us. Trucks or trains are bringing coal. That coal is put into the big oven and burned. And now it's very hot in that oven, and so they're sending now water in pipes through it. And many pipes, and while these pipes are inside of this hot oven, the water inside of them heats up and becomes steam, water, steam, whatever it is right now. And then it pushes out because it expands, because when it's steam gas, it gets bigger. And that goes then through another pipe to the turbine, and it presses then against one of the sides, and when the turbine turns, and that turns the generator. And the now slowly cooling down steam is brought into the big towers. There it is now brought in as steam, and it all is big clouds there. It rises slowly up, but it cools down and rains down. We can catch the water again. I don't know. Is it important? And we're taking the water again and bringing it again into the oven. So we're putting at the beginning a lot of coal in. We have to put up all this, and at the end the generator is making somehow by turning electricity, but the electricity is in a transformer changed and then brought over the electricity cables to all the people using it. I think that is a little nice overview about power stations. We will come back in the next part, and then we're going to make a little presentation, which has then the title, a little broad overview of power stations. And we will record it then in a separate video and publish that video separately, so that we ourselves have a little video, and we can do it then in 20 seconds instead of 8 minutes. Now we're going to do the ECU 10 training. If you're just here for the power station, where we're going to repeat it again, and then we're going to read the thing about the gas station, the gas-fired power stations, you can go directly to the next video. We're going to do now the ECU 10 training. If you participate in the ECU 10 training, that is at your own risk. Next is standing good and stable, short and quite apart. And then next to us, we're doing the floodgate. We're bringing the fists down and up. They're holding it for 1 or 2 seconds. And again down. And again up. And down. And the last time up. And now the counterfight money check. Fists next to us and bring them up. And again down. And again up. We're having 3 rules. The first rule is, again down, that we're stopping immediately as soon as there's pain. The second rule is we're going only as fast as we can go with a little bit of effort, up again. And the last time down. And the third rule is we're not overdoing it. If you feel like taking a break, do it. And the next exercise. I'm going to use the tennis racket. A tennis racket is pretty light, but it has a long lever, so use your dumbbell in accordance to our 3 rules. And bring the arm slowly to the outside, and back to the other side. We're having the lower arm taken and close to us. And the last time into the middle. Now long arm out and over to the side. And back into the middle. Take the lower arm also. So you're moving mostly with this. And the last time over. Back into the middle. And now the other arm. First small arm, take the lower arm again. So you're moving with the wrist. Slide it to the outside. And over. And into the middle. And now with the lower arm out. Slowly over. And back into the middle. And up. Again in and over. And this was the last time. So we're having one last exercise. You can use the towel or whatever. We're pressing with good force onto it. And then bringing it up, holding it, and bringing it down, and holding it. And again up. And the last time down. And again up. And changing over to the other leg, press onto it with good force, and go up, and down, and again up, and down, and again up. And that was the ECU tendon training. I thank you very much, and till next time.